In the last 3 years, we've been to, I think it's over 25 cities around the US and even in other cities around the world, where we've hosted schools with churches and in citywide contexts where we did these trainings. And we've helped to equip the saints for the work of evangelism. It's really the heart of our ministry is to partner with local churches and pastors and leaders to see everyday Christians engaging the lost and sharing the gospel. That's our vision, that's our passion. And we have been doing these schools in a live context or like at physical places for about 3 or 4 years. And this year, the Lord spoke to Steve and I to start shifting it to online. And little did we know in January and February, as we hosted our first ever online school, that it was right on time for everything that was coming, that literally this year, all events would be canceled for us. All of our itinerary would be canceled, and there would be no trainings in churches and in cities around America. And so it's just amazing how the Lord prepared us early on this year to be ready to host this online school. And we're going to look at a few of the things that we're going to be doing in the coming weeks. We are going to go through 4 sessions, okay? And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to have a teaching, a Q&A, and then a discussion group. So it's not going to be like attending a church service. It's not going to be anything like watching probably your home church on a Sunday morning. It's going to be a little bit different. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching on certain topics. We'll have different speakers each week. So all 4 weeks we'll have a different person share. And then after that, you will all have an opportunity to ask questions. And so the 4 sessions, we're going to start tonight and we're going to talk about abiding. The second session, we're going to talk about identity. The third session, we're going to talk about authority. And then the 4th session is going to be talking about sharing the gospel. Okay? So the whole purpose of this online course is to get somewhere. Like we're not just doing this aimlessly. We've chosen these different topics very methodically, and each topic is building one off of another. And so abiding is the foundational thing which we're going to launch this course into. And several years ago, I did an assignment. I was working for a ministry called Teen Challenge. I did this leadership program where they made me read, I don't know, it was like 50 books or something. Carissa could correct me on how many books, but it was like 50 books on leadership in about a 3 or 4 year period. And one of the books I read was really annoying because it wasn't just one of those books you could read. It had all these assignments. And like, before you move on to the next chapter, you have to do this assignment. And that frustrates me. Sometimes I just want to read the book. I don't want to have to do anything, right? Well, in this book, it gave me an assignment, and the assignment was figure out your life mission statement. And that question and that assignment annoyed me more than any other thing. And out of all 3 or 4 years of all those leadership books, that one thing annoyed me, because it's like, how do you expect me to figure out what my whole life is about? Like, that's a big thing to say my whole life is about this one thing. So I procrastinated the whole month into the next chapter. I didn't want to do the assignment. And finally, the like day before it was due, I was like, fine, whatever. And I just prayed almost sarcastically, Lord, what's my life mission statement? And instantly he spoke to me and he said this. He said, your life's mission and the whole purpose of your life is to abide in my love in such a way that you would inspire countless others to pursue me with reckless abandonment. And I said, whoa, that's good. So I wrote it down, and instantly I had what has literally changed the course of my life. The last 7 years, every single thing that I do is filtered through this one thing. And my life's mission statement is to abide in the Lord, stay connected to him in such a way that I inspire others not to follow me or want to know me, but that my life, literally, I'm so connected and burning for him that you would want him more than anything else, and that I would inspire you to do that. So what I have discovered is that the amazing thing about me having that mission statement, the Lord showed me. He said, you could be a janitor and fully fulfill that mission statement just as much as having a microphone in your hand and being some preacher guy. He said, abiding in me is your calling. It's your mandate. Abide in me and you'll bear fruit. It's going to happen. Whether I tell you to be a janitor or a preacher of the gospel, you're going to do great things for the kingdom if you just abide in me. And he convicted me because I had all these ideas of bearing much fruit meant that I had to have this position or a microphone in my hand. And he's like, no, you just watch yourself thinking that you're the one that's going to make this happen. Your only job is to abide in me. And no matter where I call you or what I tell you to do, you can still fulfill your calling. So we're going to be starting with abiding, and then we're going to move into our identity, because in our intimacy with the Lord, we commune with him. He tells us what he's like, and we respond. And we tell him what he's like. We have this communion with him where we get a revelation of who he is. But the more we realize who God is, the more we realize who we are in connection to him. So intimacy creates an environment where we can grow in our identity. And then from our identity, we can walk in authority, just as the disciples did. And from our authority, we can heal the sick, we can share the gospel, and we can bear much fruit.